Hello and welcome back to No Stress EDS podcast. So today we're talking about marketing, how to attract new patients for free. Amazing topic. Everybody wants to know the secret to that. And through my own entrepreneur journey, I obviously had to learn marketing and sales, and I actually love it, especially the sales part, because I'm going to teach you exactly why and how, because you are probably not loving the sales process and it kind of feels awkward and you don't want to sound pushy and you don't want to be convincing people. And this is just a misinterpretation of what's going on during the exam, during the consultation. And so I'm going to clean this all up to you so that by the end of today, you will, if not love, but at least feel inspired about marketing and sales of your practice, or even if you're an associate about your services. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to share 3 things with you today. So in order to easily attract new patients for free, you have to do 3 things. 1, your mindset is very important. Okay. We're going to talk all about it. It's how you think about your practice, how you think about your services. 2, what really helps is to have a niche. We're going to talk all about that and what that means. And 3, we're going to talk about importance of organic marketing. Okay, let's dive in. So step number 1, your mindset. In order to attract easily and for free new patients, you need to become, my friend, a walking billboard for your practice as a practice owner and even an associate. Okay. I want you to think about your practice and the services that you provide and think about the things that you love. Okay. Now, your brain, when I ask you that question, your brain immediately goes into things that you don't like about your practice. That is completely normal. That is how our brain's wired to be. I don't know if you knew, but our brains evolved to be negative. You know how we always say, oh, this person is so negative. Oh, I don't want to be around these negative people. Actually, all humans are negative by default. It's called a survival triad. Like, we evolved to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. And that avoid pain part means from the moment you open your eyes, you and me, my friend, our brain starts scanning the environment for problems. And it does it for a good reason. It's trying to identify the problem and run away, right? To keep us alive. It's looking for danger so it can avoid it in order for survival, for us to survive. It's a very primitive way of thinking. Our brains are very primitive unless we're intentionally directing them through coaching what to think and where to go. Otherwise, on default, we have negative programming, okay? So it's very normal that whenever I ask you, okay, tell me what you love about your practice, you immediately go into problems and what you don't like. That's totally normal. And here's what I'll offer you, my friend, is that every job has parts that are great. Okay? There are parts that we don't like, but there are also parts that are great. You are choosing to work at your practice. Nobody's forcing you. There's plenty of people that don't work and live on Social Security or live on governmental protection or like just, homeless. This is an option. But you choose not to, okay? You choose to go to your job every single day, to your office. And so since it's a choice, let's look at the positive. Let's look at some great things that are happening. Let's look at some things that we love about your practice. It may be this new scanner that you bought that's so amazing. Or it could be this very bubbly assistant that you have that just makes every patient comfortable. Or maybe you just got trained into this new implant technique and you are excited to place implants for people. I want you to get really psyched and excited about the services that you're providing. There's always something in your practice that's amazing. I want you to zoom in, and I want you to zoom in on it daily because I want you to become a walking billboard for your practice. Everybody you meet If there is a context, I want you to bring up your services. I want you to bring up your practice. Okay? This way, and I'll tell you why. Depending when you're listening to this podcast, but the buying behavior of people has changed since after pandemic. So if you're in 2024 or beyond, then this will definitely apply to you. The recent marketing research shows that it takes about 40 points of contact or 7 hours of content consumption in order for the patient, to feel like they know you, like you, and trust you in order for them to book an exam with you. Okay, I'm going to repeat this. 40 points of contact, right? It could be through your website or social media. It could be through the newsletter. It could be that like one of the friends mentioned you. It could be that their general dentist referred them. All these points of contact about you, 40 is required in order for the patient to finally pull the trigger and schedule an exam. Or 7 hours of content consumption. Okay, it's a lot, right? And it's really hard to do if our marketing feels like a burden. So I want you to be excited about it. I want you to be excited about something about your services or your practice. There's always something. And if you are struggling to find it, please email me. Let me help you do this. There's always parts of our job that are absolutely fantastic and amazing. Okay. I talked to this endodontist recently, and I was so inspired by her story. She actually comes from a background of everybody in her family are physicians. And she went to dental school because as a child, I think she was 9 years old, she was misdiagnosed. She has a toothache. She had a toothache. And multiple dentists had a hard time identifying the tooth. And so they ended up extracting the tooth and extracting the wrong tooth. And so she went into the fields of endodontics to help identify which tooth needs a root canal and could be saved. Like, so inspiring. She's so inspired about this. This is so cool. And I want to help you find that amazing thing. Maybe you are interested in sleep medicine, or maybe you're doing Botox. Like, I want you to be psyched about this part of your practice and talk a lot to other people about it. Anybody who would listen in person, on social media. Like, I want you to be constantly talking about it. And it also helps when patients come in for exams. Remember what I told you earlier is that our brains are wired to be negative. So whenever you see patients who are negative and tell you things like, "Ooh, why is this not covered? Oh, I thought cleaning is going to be free. Ooh, you're lying. This should be free. This thing says free." Or like, "Do I really need this?" Like, they're kind of skeptical. That's normal. You don't have difficult patients. You have human patients. Human brain is negative and skeptical. Nothing has gone wrong here, my friends. This is just a normal survival mechanism. But I also want you to know that it takes 5 positive thoughts to counteract 1 negative, which means that whenever you get patients that don't see the value of the services, nothing has gone wrong, but your eager and your love for what you do, it doesn't have to be all of it, just a part of it, will help drive the conversation and counteract that negativity. It's going to help you communicate better the value of what you're producing. Here's a tidbit. Let me tell you something, my friend. I have done a good amount of sales calls to know that it is never about the price or time or I need to talk to my husband. Like, seriously. Like, never. It is always because the person doesn't seize the value or thinks that you may not solve their problem, or it's not going to work, or they're not going to do the instructions that you tell them to do. Like, they're just afraid they're not going to get the result that they want. That's what it is. And your job is to communicate that as clearly and as best as you can. And it's really easy to do when you're excited about what you're doing. Okay. So step number 1 is your mindset. I want you to find something about your practice that you absolutely love. And I want you to train yourself to think about this daily. And then I want you to shout it from the rooftops. I want you to talk to everyone about it. And in step 3, with organic marketing, I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'll give you an example of a restaurant. I'll tell you how to do it. Okay, so point number 2 is having a niche. So a niche is something that you are like niche down, like narrow, something you're known for, something that you maybe like specialize in. And it doesn't mean like specialty, like I'm an orthodontic specialty. There could be like a subspecialty within orthodontics, right? Like airway orthodontist, right? Or maybe you are an or wow, look at the look at the sparks. If you guys are watching me on YouTube, there was just sparks on the video happening. Anyway, so there could be like as a general dentist, I have somebody in my mastermind who specializes in sleep medicine as a general dentist. I have orthodontists who are, we are all digital, like everything is digital. We're only doing like custom braces and digital monitoring and like we're super high tech and Asana everywhere and stuff like that, right? So like they are known for something. So I want you to think about, or I have another general dentist in the mastermind who is known for dealing with special needs patients. Like she genuinely enjoys it. She has a history with this type of patients. And so she's really known for that. Or maybe you're like TMJ person, right? So I want you to think about if there is something, it's not required, but it's great if you can have that. If you can be known for something, if you can be an expert in your field, even as a general dentist, you can be an expert in something. Maybe you do like killer posterior endo. You'll be known in your little community for that. It makes it so much easier to market, so much easier to attract patients for free because you become known for this thing. Okay. And I want you to really believe in it. And I want you to really go deep in this. And if you don't have to, but if there is something that you're more interested in, maybe you're only doing Invisalign. I don't know. Maybe you only do implants. Like if there's something that you are passionate about and it interests you and you can narrow down what you do, you literally automatically eliminate competition. Okay? Because we can either focus on lowering our fees, then you have to be the gal that has the cheapest services because nobody wants to be the second cheapest from the bottom, right? Because patients will go to the cheapest person. So you either have to be in this constant competition for cheaper fees or you differentiate yourself by specific services that you're providing, especially if it's within the niche, okay? So that's the second thing that I recommend in order to attract new patients for free, right? First was mindset, you loving your practice. 2 was having a niche, something very specific that you do. And 3 is organic marketing. So I want you to think about, so marketing could be, there's 2 types of marketing, right? There's inorganic, paid marketing, right? Ads, postcards, technically referrals could be somewhat paid because we buy goodies and stuff, but like anything where you have to pay money. And then there's organic marketing, free marketing, right? Like social media, if you do it yourself, it's basically free, right? You're not paying anybody. You can educate people, educate patients. You can do reels, you can do videos, you can do helpful newsletter. And I hope you're doing this, by the way. If you have patients that are coming in, I hope like you obviously are capturing their email addresses, and I hope you're sending them at least weekly in email newsletter with some helpful tips for their oral health or whatever your specialty is, okay? So that they can keep developing this know, like, and trust factor, okay? So what I want you to focus on is that when you are talking about your practice or your services organically free to other people, that's how you can attract new patients for free. And here's what's important. When you genuinely love what you're talking about, it's really easy to market it. It's very easy to talk about it. So let me give you this example. Imagine you have this favored restaurant and you are dropping off your kids and the mom in the next lane starts saying that how it's her husband's 40th birthday and she doesn't know what to do. And you know this amazing restaurant Wouldn't you share with her like, oh my God, you should totally take him to this place. It's amazing. You need to order this on the menu. Ask for this person. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. This is marketing, my friend. This is marketing. But you feel amazing, right? Telling her about this restaurant because you know how good this restaurant is. You know she's going to have an amazing experience. And so you don't feel pushy. You don't feel weird. You don't feel awkward or whatever, salesy. Like, no, you're like, you are helping her. That's how I want you to feel about your practice or your services. Okay. If somebody ever mentions like, oh, our in-laws are going to be in town for Thanksgiving. Oh my God, you have to take them to this restaurant. Right? So whenever there's an opportunity around like you being able to share with people this restaurant, you will use this opportunity, right? So that's what I want, how I want you to talk about your practice. That's how I want you to constantly integrate in day-to-day conversations with humans what you do and how you help people. If you do that, it's going to be so much easier to attract new patients. It's just going to become so much more natural. And the more you do it, it's like a muscle, right? You put in enough number of reps, it will become easier. So let's summarize. If you want to attract new patients for free and easily, you need to A, fall in love with your practice. Find something about your practice. There's always something we don't love, but find something that you believe in. It's really helpful for people. You see the benefit of it. You see the value and you're excited about it, just like you would be about your favorite restaurant. Okay. Then point number 2 is if you could niche down and provide a service that's different, that's more specific, perfect. You immediately eliminated competition. That would be great. You will become known. You will become an expert for that specific area field. And 3 is to put more emphasis on organic marketing. Okay. It's just like telling people about your favorite restaurant, but you're telling them about the services that you provide or the something amazing about your practice. And if you think, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing, but like, how do I tell people? What are these opportunities like for organic marketing? I'm going to give you a whole document with ideas for organic marketing. How do you bring up your practice? What do you say? Like, how do you not sound awkward? Like, where can you go and interact with humans and tell them about what you do? I have like a whole list of ideas for you. So you can download it at the end of this episode. And I want you to start using it, okay? After you've listened to this episode, I hope this was helpful. Let's get excited about what we do. We are helping humans, period. We are doing some amazing work. You are doing some amazing work, my friend. It sometimes just becomes such a routine that we don't see it, but I want you to see it, and I want you to be as psyched about what you do as I am about what you do. All right, my friend, download the document so you can get some ideas for organic marketing, and I cannot wait to see you talk and become an expert in your field. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.